guys, it's Brandi L back with another video, and I am so happy to be here today. Now today I'm going to be reviewing Finecolour markers as an alternative to Copics. Yep, that's right. I think that these markers are a very cheap alternative to Copics because they actually retail for about 70 US on Amazon for a pack of 72. So what I did here is I bought the 72 pack, and right now I am just well, they all came mixed up, so I'm trying to put them into color groups, with the yellows, oranges, and browns in one group, the reds, pinks, and purples in another group, all the blues together, all the greens together, and all the grays together. So what I'm going to be doing later on in this video is actually looking at the colors themselves. I'm going to use regular printer copy paper to be writing in the colors as to use as a sort of color palette, because I have realized that I cannot trust the color on the tops of the markers. It's really very off, and you guys are gonna see in a while.
I've said it many times, I know I would change my ways, I know for sure. When all the crows decide to meet, they settle down beneath my feet. I've got it right and I got it wrong, but I learned my lesson hanging on. Come sit here with me by the fire and let it go for a little while. So be here as the night starts falling. Let my fingers walk over your head. We got nothing to be scared of. I'd rather be with you than by myself. Now all is in your hands. When I was young, I thought control.
Okay guys, so here I am actually testing out the colors, and the first color I have tested is number 225 in the Finecolour Marker set. As you can see that the colors are very different from the color on the cap. That is why it is so important to do a little swatch of the colors, make a little color palette, a swatch. That way, we can refer to this while doing any artwork, drawing, painting, whatever. Well, it will be coloring because it's markers, yeah. Um, so this is the yellows, browns, and well, orangish colors sections. So that is the color that is going to be on this particular line here. And after this, I'm going to do reds and purples, and all of that is going to be on the other end. And then we're going to do the blues on the other column, and in the fourth column we're going to do the greens, and on the last and fifth column I'm going to do the grays. And that is just how I separated everything. Now, some of the colors, it's possible that it would be better in another section. At this point, I was just looking at the colors that, the caps of the colors before I actually made the swatch to try to determine where they can go. But as I said before, the caps are really misleading. So some of the colors may possibly fit in better in another section. So well, you'll see as we're going. So I believe just now I am going to start the reds and purples. And well, the first color would be number 140 in the Finecolour marker set. I think probably the closest to the cap, right? And in terms of a red, I really like the second red, number 215. It's a kind of bright, light kind of red. Um, What's really unfortunate is, well, you'll see a little later down when we reach the, let me see, one, two, three, four, five, six, the sixth color in the red, you would realize that that's number 216. That is actually the only pink in the entire set, the only true pinkish color, which I thought was a bit disappointing, because there's only one pink, and a pink is one of my favorite colors to use while I am doing art and stuff like that. So it was really, really upsetting for me. Oh yes, this color was very, very different. This 144 was very, very different from what the cap is. Okay, this is number 216. This is the only pink, guys. Look at the color. It is a nice pink. It is not very brilliant, but it is a good color. So I'm going to continue with the music again until I have something else to say. You'll also realize that coming down to the end of this one, there's a lot of kind of, well, the last two are more bluish colors. As again, I said that I use the caps to sort out the colors to make this chart. So as I said, the caps are very misleading. So yeah. Um, Okay, number 112. This is the last color that I'm going to be making here before going on to the blues. The blues are, I think I have a fair amount of blues in this pack of 72. It's okay. But I would say that with the Finecolour markers, I realized that most of the colors are around the same spectrum, at least in this pack. I didn't get really, really light colors, right? True, it has a colorless blender, and you could probably, you know, lighten down the color, but that is to only really a certain extent, right? So I was a bit disappointed in that regards, but I mean, for 72 colors and for the price, you do get a very, very wide spectrum of colors. So get a wide range of colors, so it's not very, very bad. So I'm gonna put on the music again until I come to probably the greys. I didn't get a lot of greens. I got a lot of grays and a lot of, well, yellows, browns, and oranges, because those are the major sections that I did for these colors. So you will see how it is. And also coming to the edge of the video, I'm going to just show you a little bit about how you could blend these colors, right? They do have blendability like the Copic markers, right? They do have that. And I'm going to show you how you could blend the colors and also use the colorless blender. It's unfortunate that you get only one colorless blender in the pack, because I can foresee I am going to have to use that. That is probably going to be one of the marker that I'll have to like replace. Um, these don't have refills. When these are done, they are done. You're gonna need to buy new ones. Personally, I don't mind it because of the price, and I don't the markers is not the only medium I use. I also use a lot of watercolors and color pencils and stuff like that. So many times I use other things. So far I have had these markers by way for about 2 months plus, and I have used them extensively. And well, a fair amount. I shouldn't say extensively, a fair amount. And maybe a little later on, I will show you a picture of what I did with the markers. So stay tuned for that. And if you're liking the video so far, feel free to scroll down and hit that like button, and also subscribe to my channel, Brandi L. That will be most appreciated. I love you guys a lot, and I can't wait to see you again in my other videos. I just love speaking to you all and stuff. So I really am gonna put on the music a little bit, and then I may show you a bit of my drawing that I did.
I've said it many times, I know I would change my ways, I know for sure. When all the crows decide to meet, they settle down beneath my feet. I've got it right and I got it wrong, but I learned my lesson hanging on. Come sit here with me by the fire and let it go for a little while. So be here as the night starts falling. Let my fingers walk over your head. We got nothing to be scared of. I'd rather be with you than by myself. Now always in your hands. When I was young, I thought control would lead me to an ending road, and heavy metal seemed to be the only thing that was for me. And I saw the angels coming down, and they sang a song, they sang it loud. And I still remember parts of it, and the yellow glorious will it. Won't you be my guide and let me follow? Can I hold your hand for old time's sake?
Okay guys, so I am going to show you all a illustration that I did with the Finecolour markers. I thought it came out really nicely. You can see that the markers can blend. You are seeing the blendability in the trees and stuff, the big trees. Um, the trees to the background, I actually just used watercolor for that, but everything else was the Finecolour marker. And I also used a cheap black ink pen to, outline the girl and made my marks. So I really like how this came out, and it is a really fine piece. So this is just to show you how versatile the fine color markers are. And I mean, this in Copics would also be really good. Um, so now I am going on to the grease. Oh, this is the zero, the colorless blender. I put this in the gray section. I am actually going to, well, it's a clear, so it doesn't make sense I'm doing that, but I am going to show you later on exactly how it can be blended. So I'm going through all the gray colors here, one by one, making the swatches. And again, even with the grease, it is very different from the caps. So swatches, a color swatch is very important when you are using any kind of marker. I think you should make sure and make swatches so you know exactly how it's going to look on paper. Um, So from the picture I showed you a little while ago with the Amazon woman, if you can remember, I I I think that in itself is a bit of a testimony that how fine color markers can work and how it can look. I know I haven't used them for very long, having them for only 2 months or so using that medium, and I think that it is very possible to get something of a high quality with it. Now, I would admit that because they only have the bullet nibs and the chisel nib in the fine color, it is different from the kind of blendability you can get with a brush nib. I would not say that. The 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 other markers, the Copic markers, are definitely top quality stuff. But again, if you are a student or you just do not have the money to put out for those very expensive markers, I strongly believe that the fine colors are a really good choice. Or just letting you guys know that this is not a sponsored video. This is just me speaking about the material that I have and the materials that I use. I am not, well, I do like it. I do use it. It's unfortunate that it does not have the brush nib. However, this is what I can afford and this is what I am using. So now I have finished all of the 72 colors that I have, right? And this is basically the end of that portion of it. And very soon I am going to go on to the actual blending. Now, here I'm just showing you some of the colors that I really liked, and the number 216, as I was telling you, it's really unfortunate that it only has one pink, and some of the colors could actually be in different sections. So now I'm going to demonstrate a little bit about the colorless blender. Um, Really and truly, it has its advantages and disadvantages. I'm just using two random colors, number 207 and 216, to show the blendability of the markers. As I said, it's not um, perfect, because look at those two contrasts there. They're really contrast, but if you work it in and you work it in, it's true that you need to work it in a lot to get it to blend in, but it can blend, as you are seeing right now. It can blend. So don't let anyone tell you that yes, it's cheap and it cannot blend. It may not blend as well as the Copics, but they do blend. Now the colorless marker, you could also use that to lift some of the color from the page, especially when you make a mistake and you don't really want. I wouldn't really use it for mistakes, but like if you want a certain section to be lighter, right, it does work in that way, right? So that's what I did with the pinks. Now that first color was the second color there is the 207, and I'm putting the colorless blender over it just to show you exactly what happens. I think it can be a bit messy, what happens with it, but it all depends on how you use it. It all depends on exactly how you use it and utilize it. And look, in this way we are able to blend it somewhat nicely and get a good blend from it. So I can't really say anything. I mean, for the price, it is really excellent. Oh, and here I'm using the Micron fine liner just to show you that well, the fine liner was still wet. I didn't allow it to dry just now, but you could use the markers over, and it really doesn't run well if you let it dry. Because look, I'm putting the colorless blender on it, and it didn't fade or anything. It's just because it was wet, it kind of smudged. So guys, that is basically it. That is everything, and I really do appreciate you sitting and watching. I know it's a very long video today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Press that like button and subscribe, and feel free um, to follow me on various social media. Instagram is at Brandi L Illustrations, and you can see me on others. I'll put the link to that below. Have an excellent day, guys. Bye.